What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Pokey Office. My name is Colin. Here's the thing. Stop investing in Pokemon. Don't do it. Don't invest in Pokemon cards right now. Why, you might ask? Well, it's just a kid's game. The market's really volatile. You invest in Pokemon cards? What are you, 6 years old? Like, some of the comments we get about Pokemon investing are just the most wild thing in the world, aren't they not? Because I don't know about you, but I have experienced some really nice gains on my Pokemon card collection in terms of value. Obviously, it's another conversation to talk about selling and actually reaping the rewards of those value gains in terms of real cash. But Pokemon cards is definitely an investable thing. So when I get comments like that, I just think to myself, yep. You just don't invest in Pokemon cards. Don't do it. Don't do it. Save it for me, baby. Like, I think we overestimate how many people are actually buying sealed product and who are actually keeping it sealed. Because there's a lot of people out there who like to watch the investing channels, including myself. There's a lot of people who maybe buy a couple booster boxes, but it's not like this get-rich-quick scheme thing that we're talking about. Like, yeah, I have a nice collection. It's worth like a couple tens of thousands of dollars. But even if that all doubles, it's not like I can retire off of my Pokemon. That's not what's happening. Like, it's a long-term thing, partly because I love the hobby and partly because I love talking about investing as well, and I like financial markets. Merge those two things together and we got ourselves a little hot ticket item. But don't invest, because it's not going to go good for you. Pokemon's not an investable asset. People are crazy. People are crazy. Do you think we overestimate? Like, I actually don't think there's that many people out there that have like just hordes and hordes of Pokemon cards sitting in their basement or in a storage unit, sealed, ready to like make millions of dollars. I don't think that's a thing. It's like little guys like me and you. Hopefully I didn't just group you into a part that you're not. But like, yeah, I have a nice collection. I keep growing my collection. I keep growing my sealed product collection so that it can gain value and that I make some money off of it. But I don't have my whole life savings into Pokemon either. Like, it's kind of fun money as well. So why wouldn't I do that? I love talking about Pokemon. Like, that's where I'm kind of at with this video. And the thumbnail and the title is just, gotcha. Because obviously I don't think to not invest in Pokemon cards. But here's the actual meat and potatoes of the video, because I've kind of just been rambling. I asked ChatGPT 4 reasons why you shouldn't invest, and I thought it would be an interesting thing to talk about. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right, here we go. And actually, these are some okay reasons to not invest in Pokemon cards. So I thought it was pretty cool. Number 1, volatile market. The value of Pokemon cards fluctuates wildly due to hype cycles, trends, or influencer-driven interest. Prices can rise rapidly and crash just as quickly, making it difficult to predict long-term value. Hey, I think that's a really fair point. The markets, especially as a new set comes out, can be extremely volatile. Like, we see cards like the Cassiopeia from Shrouded Fable start well over $100 now. It's like a $40 to $50 card. So if you're buying early, and especially in the singles market, we see huge volatility. But in the sealed market as well, there's the hype trains. Like, I remember I paid way too much money for one of those Pokemon Classic collection boxes, like the big black box with the classic cards in it. I paid way too much for that because we all thought it was going to be short printed, and then there's actually lots and people weren't that interested, and it's the biggest MSRP product. I paid lots of money for some of the Sword and Shield booster boxes. They started, I don't even know when that was, early 2024. They started going out of stock on Pokemon Center, and now all of a sudden it's like the FOMO train. Everyone is a feeding frenzy trying to grab up these last Sword and Shield booster boxes before. And people do lose money when it's like that, where, hey, everyone sees the hype train, and now all of a sudden, it's time to go buy Fusion Strike booster boxes. Booster boxes of Fusion Strike were like $270, $280, I believe they got up to in TCG player markets. Now they're back down to like $220, $230. So you probably overpaid there, some of you. I overpaid for a few Fusion Strike booster boxes. That's a thing. Volatile markets, because as soon as, like I think ChatGPT said it well, as soon as the hype cycle or the trend or the influencer-driven interest pushes everyone over there, and then all of a sudden it's like, I want some, I want some, I want some. And then it slows back down because people realize how crazy it's getting. And then the market tends to settle down, and then maybe you made a bad decision. That's a totally fair point. Totally fair point. That being said, the volatility also is a completely good thing if you're investing, because if you use the strategy that I like to use, you just buy early, buy cheap and early, and then set it and forget it. Volatility doesn't make any difference, because right now Scarlet and Violet Era booster boxes are just as cheap as they ever are. That's what it is. You buy them super cheap. Who cares if you pay 90 or 100 or 110 or even 120 for a booster box? MSRP is 163, baby. So if you buy below that, well below that, then you're going to do well. It's just as simple as that. So volatility can actually, like, here's the thing. When I'm putting my money into the stock market, this may not be the best play, but I'm a bit of a gambler. So I like the volatile stocks. I like the volatile slot machines at the casino too, because, hey, you bet, you lose some, but when you win, you have the chance to win big. That's really what it comes down to. There's a reason why people made tons of money in crypto early on too, because crypto was so volatile. You could buy early, and I think I've told the story on the channel before, but I got in really good with one of the like alternate crypto coins once. This is like 3 years ago. Bought in when the coin was like 70 cents. It made its way up to $18. I got greedy. I didn't cash out, and now it's down to, I think it's around 13 or 15 cents. So what a roller coaster. That's the thing. Volatile markets can work pro for you, and it can work against you for sure. Here's what number 2 from ChatGPT says. Counterfeits and frauds. The Pokemon card market has been plagued with counterfeit cards and fraudulent sellers. If you're not highly experienced in card authentication, you risk purchasing fake or altered cards, resulting in significant loss. Bingo! I mean, that's happened to me in the last year. I got scammed because I didn't see all the red flags, and I bought some fake booster boxes, and it really sucks. It kind of ruins the hobby a little bit. And, I mean, that's definitely a thing. Definitely a thing. So you have to be careful. I would argue that you almost need to have a learning lesson like that if you're going to be into the hobby long term. I hope you don't. Don't get me wrong. I really hope you don't, because getting scammed sucks so bad. But learning lets you see, like, the negativity and the consequence of getting scammed lets you see the mistakes that you've made. Usually the hard things in life is where we grow the most. That's some life lesson right there. But getting scammed sucks so bad. I wish there was no such thing as fake and counterfeit Pokemon cards, but there is. That's the truth of the matter. So what can we do? We can just like teach ourselves and like be well informed. Look for the red flags in a deal that's going bad. If it's too good of a deal to be true, it probably is too good to be true. That kind of stuff. You can go watch my video. It's like from, I think it released in February or March of 2024, which is an interesting video. You can see how I got scammed out of some booster boxes. But definitely a thing. I will say, I don't think it's as much of a thing as some people make it out to be, because especially with Scarlet and Violet stuff, like once again, reason number 3,527 why you should just buy booster boxes early as the set releases. There's no such thing as fake English booster boxes of the brand new set. That just doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. It's more when you get into older stuff. So if you just buy early, buy cheap and buy early, you get rid of all this counterfeit and fraud stuff. Find a person online or find a store online that you trust that gets a distributor deal and buy Pokemon cards from them. Easy game. Here's number 3. Storage and preservation issues. Maintaining the value of collectible cards requires proper storage to avoid damage from moisture, light, air, mishandling. Graded cards offer more protection but come with additional costs, and ungraded cards can lose value if not stored perfectly. Totally fair. Totally fair. I mean, I think that's probably one of the best counter arguments against investing in Pokemon is the storage issues, because I have a whole back room where I keep all my sealed stuff, and it's getting pretty full. Like, there's definitely, you have to take that into consideration. If you like collecting or investing in elite trainer boxes, they take up a lot of space. If you like booster boxes, they start to take up a lot of space. Like, a case of booster boxes is quite heavy, and it's not small. It's not big, but it's not small. And if you get a few of them, that starts to take up some space. Collection boxes take up a lot of space. So definitely a thing. And lots of people don't think about the moisture, the lighting. Like, this can actually change things. So it seems like a good video to do. Like, how do you actually properly store your Pokemon cards? Seems like a boring video, but like a good video to kind of walk through the steps that I take to protect my Pokemon cards. And sticking with this kind of like similar theme, I have a lot of Pokemon in my house. So, house insurance, does it cover collectibles? Does it not? Like, that's a conversation that you need to be having if you have some nice collections in your house. So what happens? Like, at least with the stock market, it's kind of all in the digital world. You don't really have to worry about that. But like, what happens if my house catches on fire? What happens if someone comes and steals from me? Like, that's definitely a thing. What happens if my house floods? There's all sorts of different issues when you actually have to store physical product. The counter argument to that would be that I love that Pokemon is a physical, tangible product. I can hold it in my hands. I see my investment right up close, which I think is really, really cool. So that's number 3. Number 4 is lack of liquidity. Unlike traditional investments such as stocks, Pokemon cards can be hard to sell quickly. Finding buyers willing to pay your desired price can be time-consuming, especially for niche or high-value cards. Also true, but in my experience, this is actually, Beause made a really good video about it, like, when's the time to sell, because, I mean, there's not that many sales of Team Up happening because it's so expensive. Not that many people are looking for a Team Up booster box anymore. There's tons of sales happening for Stellar Crown because people are currently interested in the newest sets. So there's like this probably, I mean, it's a supply and demand type of issue. Supply is low, but demand is also low, so the price kind of stays static type of thing. We're not going to get into that too much, but when is the right time to sell? In my experience, because I just sold 2 Evolving Skies booster boxes 2 weeks ago, something like that. You've already heard it if you've been watching the channel. So the thing is, I always sell a little bit lower than market price, and it tends to get a lot of interest right quick. I still made 60% gains. It's not like I lost. I made 60% on my Evolving Skies booster boxes, and that's fine. I'm happy to have a win-win situation where the person buying from me who wants an Evolving Skies booster box gets a little bit of a deal, and I still make 60% and get a quick sale. It's, to me, that's a total winner. So that's the way that I tend to deal with those situations. That being said, I've never held something long enough, because I've only been back in the hobby for 2.5 years or so. I've never held something long enough to have like a Team Up booster box where it's worth $3,000. If I had a Team Up booster box and I offered it for $2,500 rather than $3,000, I'm just making up numbers, by the way. I think someone would buy it for a $500 discount. I think someone would buy it. That's my take, but I'm not 100% sure, honestly. It's true. In the stock market, you can just basically click sell at market price and it'll sell for you. Pokemon, you got a little bit of work to do to actually sell your stuff. But back to the original intent of this video. Don't invest in Pokemon cards. Save it for me. Like, I want to keep doing it. And even more so, don't invest in Pokemon cards, as like I think Pokemon is just going to explode over the next months. We got Surging Sparks coming out in November. It's going to be a banger set. Pre-orders are up all over the place. Speaking of that, I have to tell you about this one. I actually got to see if I can find it here. This is a comment I had not too long ago. Wrong thoughts. The reason why Pokemon has been so cheap all at the start of expansions now is because no one is buying it. It's simple economics. The hype on Pokemon has calmed down a lot. People are not buying like they used to. Sellers have lower price to get rid of stock. Simple math. You keep thinking that, my man. You keep thinking that, because that is just, it can't be further from the truth. I don't have any stats to back me up when I say this, but I think Pokemon is bigger now than it has ever been before. Scarlet and Violet is extremely popular with kids, with adults alike, and Surging Sparks pre-orders are up, and there's going to be huge waves coming in for Surging Sparks, whatever the evolution. Prismatic Evolution, the EV set, specialty set in January, Battle Partners, and Team Rocket. I mean, yeah, nah, it's small. No one's buying Pokemon cards. Don't invest in Pokemon cards. You're just wasting your money. That's just what it is. Don't do it. Hope you enjoyed the content. I'm going to keep investing in Pokemon cards for sure. I hope you do too, if you liked anything I had to say today. And if you did, please hit the like button. Appreciate you. Appreciate all your support. I'll see you on my next video. Peace!